dear.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Murray Hill 4-0098 now for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy. But I don't see how it could be busy that long. Could you try it for me?
Murray
Please?
Hill 4-0098. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all this time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I'm all alone here in the house. My house is very poor, and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 4-0098.
Hello?
Hello? Hello? Is Mr. Stevenson there?
Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, George.
Yes, sir.
Hello? Who's this? What number am I calling, please?
We have heard from our client. He says the coast is clear for tonight.
Yes, sir.
Where are you now?
In a phone booth.
Okay. You know the address. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. Be sure that all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. At 11:15, a subway train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window is open and she should scream.
Oh, hello? What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand.
Make it quick, as little blood as possible, or our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
A knife okay, sir?
Yes, a knife will be okay. And remember, remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the dresser. Our client wishes it to look like simple robbery.
Okay, I get.
Oh, how awful. How unspeakably.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've just been cut off.
Well, I'm sorry, madam. What number are you calling?
Why, it was supposed to be Murray Hill 4-0098, but it wasn't. Some wires must have been crossed. I was cut into a wrong number. And I just heard the most dreadful thing, a murder, and operator, you simply have to retrace that call at once.
Well, I beg your pardon, madam. I don't quite.
Oh, I know it was a wrong number, and I had no business listening. But these two men, they were cold-blooded fiends, and they were gonna murder somebody, some poor innocent woman who was all alone in a house near a bridge, and we've got to stop them. We've got to do something.
What number were you calling, madam?
That doesn't matter. This was a wrong number, and you dialed it. And we've got to find out what it was immediately.
But madam.
Oh, why are you so stupid? Look, it was obviously a case of some little slip of the finger. I told you to try Murray Hill 4-0098 for me. You dialed it, but your finger must have slipped, and I was connected with some other number. I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. Now, I simply failed to see why you couldn't make that same mistake again on purpose. Why you couldn't try to dial Murray Hill 4-0098 in the same careless sort of way.
Murray Hill 4-0098. I'll try to get it for you, madam.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. Murray Hill 4-0098 seems to be busy.
Operator.
Yes, madam?
You didn't try to get the wrong number at all. I asked explicitly, and all you did was dial correctly.
What number are you trying to call, madam? I'm so sorry.
Can't you, for once, forget what number I was calling and do something specific? Now, I want to trace that call. It's my civic duty. It's your civic duty to trace that call and to apprehend those dangerous killers. And if you won't, I won't.
Okay, I'm sorry, madam. I'll try to connect you with the chief operator.
Please.
Miss Curtis, will you pick up on line 17, please?
Yes, dear. What's the trouble?
Somebody wanting a call traced. I can't make head nor tail of it.
Sure, dear. 17? This is the chief operator.
Chief operator? I want you to trace a call, a telephone call, immediately. I don't know where it came from or who was making it, but it's absolutely necessary that it be tracked down because it was about a murder. Yes, a terrible, cold-blooded murder of a poor innocent woman tonight at 11:15.
I see.
Can you trace it for me? Can you track down those men?
It depends, madam.
Depends on what.
It depends on whether the call is still going on. If it's a live call, we can trace it on the equipment. But if it's been disconnected, we can't.
Disconnected?
If the parties have stopped talking to each other,
Oh, but of course they must have stopped talking to each other by now. That was at least 5 minutes ago. And they don't sound like the type who would make a long call.
well, I can try tracing it. Now, what is your name, madam?
Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson. But listen, you can't.
And your telephone number?
Plaza 4-2295. But if you go on wasting all this time, then this man.
And what is your reason for wanting this call traced?
My reason? Well, for heaven's sake, isn't it obvious? I overhear two men. They're killers. They're planning to murder this woman. It's a matter for the police.
Have you told the police?
No, how could I?
You're making this check into a private call purely as a private individual.
Yes, but meanwhile, the men are just.
Well, Mrs. Stevenson, I seriously doubt whether we can make this check for you at this time, just on your say-so as a private individual. We'd have to have something more official.
Oh, for heaven's sake, you mean to tell me I can't report a murder without getting tied up in all this red tape? Why, it's perfectly idiotic. All right then, I will call the police. Ridiculous.
Your call, please.
The police department.
Ringing
Please.
the police department.
Here's your lunch, Sarge. They don't have no jelly donuts, so I give you French coolers instead. Okay, Sarge?
French coolers? I got ulcers. Why don't you make an apple pie? Police Department, Precinct 43, Duffy speaking.
But Sarge, they don't have no apple pie either.
Police department? Oh, this is Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Smythe Stevenson of 53 North Sutton Place. I'm calling up to report a murder.
Hmm?
I mean, the murder hasn't been committed yet. I just overheard plans for it over the telephone, over a wrong number that the operator gave me. I've been trying to trace down the call myself, but everyone is so stupid. And I guess, in the end, you're the only people who could do anything.
Yes, ma'am.
It was a perfectly definite murder. I heard their plans distinctly. Two men were talking, and they were going to murder some woman at 11:15 tonight. She lived in a house near a bridge,
Yes, ma'am.
and there was a private patrolman on the street. He was going to go around for a beer on 2nd Avenue, and there was some third man, a client, who was paying to have this poor woman murdered. They were going to take her rings and bracelets and use a knife. Well, it's unnerved me dreadfully, and I'm not well.
I see. When was all this, ma'am?
About 8 minutes ago. Oh, then you can do something.
And
You do
what's your-
understand. Mrs. Stevenson, Mrs. Albert Stevenson,
And your address?
53 North Sutton Place. That's near a bridge. The Queensboro Bridge, you know? And we have a private patrolman on our street and 2nd Avenue.
And what was that number you were calling?
Murray Hill, 4-0098. But that wasn't the number I overheard. I mean, Murray Hill 4-0098 is my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I was trying to reach him to ask him to come home. I'm an invalid, you know? And it's the maid's night off, and I hate to be alone. Even though he says I'm perfectly safe as long as I have the telephone right beside my bed.
Well, we'll look into it, Mrs. Stevenson, and we'll see if we could check in with the telephone company.
But the telephone company said they couldn't check the call if the parties had stopped talking. I've already taken care of that.
Oh, yeah?
Personally, I feel you ought to do something far more immediate and drastic than just check the call. What good does checking the call do if they stop talking? By the time you track it down, they already committed the murder.
Well, we'll take care of it, lady. Don't worry.
I'd say the whole thing calls for a search, a complete and thorough search of the whole city. I'm very near a bridge, and I'm not far from Second Avenue. And I know I'd feel a whole lot better if you sent around a radio car to this neighborhood at once.
And what makes you think that this murder is going to be committed in your neighborhood, ma'am?
Oh, I don't know. The coincidence is so horrible. Second Avenue, the patrolman, the bridge.
Second Avenue is a very long street, ma'am. And do you happen to know how many bridges there are in the city of New York alone? Not to mention Brooklyn, Staten Island, Queens, and the Bronx. And how do you know there isn't some little house out on Second Avenue on Staten Island that you've never heard of? How do you even know they were talking about New York at all?
But I heard it on the New York dialing system.
How do you know it wasn't some long distance call you overheard? Telephones are funny things. Look, lady, why don't you put it this way? Supposing you hadn't broken into that telephone call, supposing you got into your husband the way you always do, would this murder have made any difference to you then?
I suppose not. But it's so inhumane, so cold-blooded.
A lot of murders happen in the city every single day, ma'am. If there was something we could do about them, we would, but a clue of this kind that's so vague is not much use to us than no clue at all.
But surely you could try.
Of course, you have some reason of believing that this call is phony and that someone may be planning to murder you.
Me? Oh, no. I hardly think so. I mean, why should anybody? I'm alone all day and night. I see nobody except my maid, Eloise. She's a big 200-pounder. She's too lazy to bring out my breakfast tray. And the only other person is my husband, Albert. He's crazy about me, adores me, waits on me hand and foot. He scarcely left my side since I took sick 12 years ago.
Well, then there's nothing for you to worry about, is there, ma'am? And now if you'll just leave the rest of this to us.
But what will you do? It's so late. It's nearly 11 o'clock.
We'll take care of it, lady.
Will you broadcast it all over the city and send out squads and warn your radio cars to watch out, especially in suspicious neighborhoods like mine?
Lady, I said we'll take care of it. Just now I've got a couple of other matters on my desk that require my immediate attention.
Oh, idiot!
What a crackhead.
Now, why did I do that? Now, he'll think I'm a fool. Oh, why doesn't Albert come home? Why doesn't he?
Your call, please.
Operator, for heaven's sake, will you ring that Murray Hill 4-0098 number again? I can't think what's keeping him so long.
Ringing Royer Hill 4-0098. Oh, well, it seems the line is busy.
I can hear it. You don't have to tell me. I know it's busy. If I could only get out of this bed for a little while, if I could get a breath of fresh air, or just lean out of the window and see the street. Hello? Albert? Hello? 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 Oh, what's the matter with this phone? Hello? 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 Oh, for heaven's sake, who is this? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Your call, please.
Hello? Operator? I don't know what's the matter with this telephone tonight, but it's positively driving me crazy. I've never seen such insufficient, miserable service. Now, look, I'm an invalid, and I'm very nervous, and I'm not supposed to be annoyed. But if this keeps going on much longer, I have no choice.
Trouble, madam.
Well, everything's wrong. The whole world could be murdered for all you people care. And now my phone keeps ringing.
Yes, madam.
Ringing and ringing and ringing every 5 seconds or so. And when I pick it up, there's no one there.
I'm sorry, madam. If you will hang up, I will test it for you.
I don't want you to test it for me. I want you to put through that call, whatever it is, at once.
I'm afraid that's not possible, madam.
Not possible. And why, may I ask?
The system is automatic, madam. If someone is trying to dial your number, there is no way to check whether the person's call is coming through the system or not, unless the person who is trying to reach you complains to his particular operator.
Well, of all the stupid, complicated. And meanwhile, I've got to sit here in my bed, suffering every time the phone rings, imagining everything.
I'll try to check it for you, madam.
Check it! Check it! That's all anybody could do. Of all the stupid, idiotic. Oh, what's the use? Hello? Hello? Stop ringing. Do you hear me? Answer me. What do you want? Do you realize you're driving me crazy?
Hello? Is this Plaza 4-2295?
Yes. Yes, this is Plaza 4-2295.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here for Mrs. Albert Stevenson. Is there anyone there to receive the message?
I am Mrs. Stevenson.
The telegram is as follows. Mrs. Albert Stevenson, 53 North Sutton Place, New York, New York. Darling, terribly sorry. Tried to get to you for the last hour, but line busy. Leaving for Boston, 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business. Back tomorrow afternoon. Keep happy. Love, signed, Albert.
Oh, no.
That is all, madam. Do you wish us to deliver a copy of the message?
No. No, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night. No. No. It isn't true. He couldn't do it. Not when he knows I'll be all alone. It's some trick. Some fiendish.
Your call, please.
Operator, try that Murray Hill 4-0098 number for me just once more, please.
Ringing Murray Hill 4-0098.
He's gone. Oh, Albert, how could you? How could you? But I can't be alone tonight. I can't. If I'm alone one more second, I don't care what he says or what the expense is. I'm a sick woman. I'm entitled.
This is information.
I want the telephone number of Henchley Hospital.
Henchley Hospital, do you have the address, madam?
No, it's somewhere in the 70s, though. It's a very small, private, and exclusive hospital where I had my appendix out 2 years ago. Henchley, Henchlee.
One moment, please.
Please, hurry. And please, what is the time?
Do not know, madam. You may find out the time by dialing Meridian 7-1212.
Oh, for heaven's sake, couldn't you?
The number of Henchley Hospital is Butterfield 7-0105, madam.
Butterfield 7-0105.
Henchley Hospital, good evening.
Nurses registry?
Who was it you wish to speak to, please?
I want the nurses registry at once. I want a trained nurse. I want to hire her immediately for the night.
I see. And what is the nature of the case, madam?
Nerves. I'm very nervous. I need soothing and companionship. My husband is away, and I'm not.
Recommended to us by any doctor in particular, madam?
No, but I really don't see why all this chastising is necessary. I want a trained nurse. I was a patient in your hospital 2 years ago. And after all, I do expect to pay this person a lot.
Madam, but registered nurses are very scarce just now, and our superintendent has access to send people out only on cases where the physician in charge feels it's absolutely necessary.
Well, it is absolutely necessary. I'm a sick woman. I'm very upset. Very. I'm alone in this house, and I'm an invalid. And tonight, I overheard a telephone conversation that upset me dreadfully about a murder. A poor woman who's going to be murdered at 11:15 tonight. In fact, if someone doesn't come at once, I'm afraid I'll go out of my mind.
I see. Well, I'll speak to Miss Phillips as soon as she comes in. And what is your name, madam?
Miss Phillips. And when do you expect her in?
I really don't know, madam. She went out to supper at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock? But it's not 11 yet. Oh, my watch has stopped. I thought it was running down. What time is it?
Just 14 minutes past 11.
What's that?
What was what, madam?
That clicked just now. In my own phone, as though someone had lifted the receiver off the hook of the extension phone downstairs.
I didn't hear it, madam. Now, about this.
But I did. There's someone in this house. Someone downstairs in the kitchen. And they're listening to me now. They're... I won't pick it up. I won't let them hear me. I'll be quiet. And they'll think... But if I don't call someone now, while they're still down there, there'll be no time.
Your call, please.
Operator, I'm in desperate trouble. I
cannot hear you, madam. Please speak louder.
don't dare. There's someone listening. Can you hear me now?
Your call, please. What number are you calling?
You've got to hear me. Oh, please. You've got to help me. There's someone in this house. Someone who's going to murder me. And you got to get in touch with the... Oh, there it is. He's put it down. He's put down the extension. He's coming. Ah! He's coming up the stairs! Give me the police department. The police!
Ringing the police department.
Police Department, Precinct 43, Duffy speaking. Police Department, Duffy speaking.
Sorry, wrong number.
Oh, there we are. Oh, there we are.
While we're waiting, I just want to say thank you to everyone. This means a lot for you guys coming to see the performance. All these people you see here, the actors and the crew. I just want to say thank you to everyone. This worked so hard. They really have been working hard for all the shows we've been doing. All these people you see here, the actors and the crew. I just want to say thank you to everyone.
It's delayed.
That's true. Jonathan, I think, wrote about the Zoom. It is challenging in the Zoom, but we, like I said before, these guys are working really hard. We've trial and error, trying different things, and I certainly couldn't do anything without the cast, and the crew has been just rock stars. We have Samantha, who did our wonderful posters so far, the second one, and Cliff, Matthew, and Alexa are behind the scenes, really helping. Couldn't do it without them.
All right. So if anyone has any questions for the cast, we can put them. Yes, we did this all without meeting up. And let's see.
Ebony.
All right. Okay, here are some questions. So we will start with Miss, I'm going to butcher your name, I am sorry, Miss Buchert, I think. Did people have lines memorized, or did they have notes there? Does one of the cast want to take that one?
Well, I didn't have a lot of lines. I had lines like, okay, yes, sir, and like, all right, here's the donuts or something like that. So I didn't have to memorize my lines per se, but I don't know, maybe sadly she might have trouble because like she was speaking like the entire time with the Mrs. Stevenson part. But I personally, I didn't really have to because I had like simple lines, but I can't speak for everybody though.
I like memorized some of them. Like I started memorizing the beginning and like middle parts, like doing it over and over again. I started just like memorizing it, and like it just like felt like the character. So I like sort of knew what I should say in the moment, like if you're just like feeling it. But then some things I wouldn't remember exactly, so I would like have a note there, like, oh, this is the line for that part if I kept forgetting it. But yeah, for the most part, I knew them.
Wonderful. All right. Up next, from Jonathan, what was the inspiration for the play? Someone can just start talking if they want to answer that one.
Does he mean, Jonathan, you mean why it was chosen, the play? I'm assuming that might be, well, I mean, I chose the play, obviously, and I was looking for pieces that I knew in this forum would have to be short. I like the murder mystery genre, and they're very hard to find good plays in the murder mystery genre that are not too like terrible. And I also there's a great movie, the old movie based on this play that is a phenomenal piece. Barbara Stanwyck, who I don't know if anyone, I'm probably the oldest one in the room right now, who knows who she is, but she plays that character. So I had familiarity. I remembered that movie, that it was a play, like a radio play. And I thought it might fit in this setting and also be fun to do.
Awesome. All right. Up next, let's see. The questions kept scrolling by. From Tanya. How was the experience practicing virtually? Did you enjoy it?
Me? Oh, all right. So I personally think that the experience, I mean, although it was like, something that we're not used to, I think I enjoyed it either way because, it's just nice because I really like drama. So just to get a taste of it from home, I'm like really appreciative of that. So, it's not going to be the same experience as in person, but I still had a lot of fun. And hopefully by this fall, we can actually do a play, a regular one.
For sure. That is definitely the goal for the fall. From Faux a lot, with the phone ringing post-production. Good question. Alexa, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, okay, so basically what we did was it was kind of hard to do it live. So the plan was for me to raise my hand whenever we were planning to plug in the sound and then do it after we had all the videos. So basically we didn't really do it. We didn't really plug in the sounds live because then it would be really delayed or it would get screwed up. So it was after filming.
Awesome. So yeah, it was post-production. Matthew, another person to shout out who's not here right now, he took the lead on that edit. Put it really putting the show together in post-production. Most of the phone clicks, all of the ringing, the beeping, the train, the mix at the end, that was almost all Matthew. All right, up next, Carly's question. Best question so far. If anyone wants to try to beat Carly's question, go for it. Question for the cast and crew: how are you so cool? I don't really think there's an answer to that, Carly. I think Carly just has to figure that out all by herself. All right. Next up, from Dennis: was everything conducted after Times Square Angel, or did preparations start before? That's a good question. Someone can just start to answer that one if they'd like.
Well, the plays were chosen, but the actual, when you say construction, the technical side did not happen until after Times Square Angel. We did one at a time. This piece actually probably could have paired with the next show, but with everyone's scheduling, including mine, we weren't sure if I wasn't sure we could swing that. So, but no, the technical side, piecing it together, happened per show, within the rehearsal process and like towards the ends of the rehearsal process.
Yep, and I'll add to that. So obviously we picked all the cast at the beginning late last year, but we didn't really start rehearsing for this show until after Angel ended. If that was what you're wondering. We have two questions. All right, one, can the cast go deeper into the plot of the play, like an ending explanation? Yeah, Mev, go for it.
Well, I don't really think it gives you like an explanation like in the script, but I've always had the theory that was the one that Mr. Lewis typed out, that like someone was trying to collect life insurance or something. I think there was definitely some monetary incentive to murder her.
Seems reasonable. And the second question, what were the cast's first impressions of the play when they first received it? That's a really good question. All right, yeah. You, Sally, you can go.
When I first saw it, I was like, oh, I'm gonna die. I was kind of surprised. I was like, I know like it's like a murder mystery type thing. I was like, I didn't know I'm gonna die. And so I thought it was a little funny and like surprising. And then I was just thinking like through the play, like why would I want to be like, why would someone actually want to kill me? Like what am I doing to anybody? I don't know. Like, if I can't even move, like how did I do something so horrible that my husband would want to like tell somebody to kill me? I don't know, but I just thought it was surprising and funny.
Yeah, go ahead, Terrence.
Oh, well, me personally, I was like, at first, I mean, it took me a while to like get the hang of it, because at first I was just like, she called the number, then she dialed the wrong number, but then somebody else, she had to call somebody else like, oh, call this wrong number. And then they were like, oh, you dialed right. I was like, what? So I had to, it took me a while to get it, but it makes sense now. And I think, although it's like a really serious play, like the way it came out was pretty funny, and I really liked how it came out. So.
Yeah, Sarah, if you want to go.
Yeah, so just going back to what someone asked about the plot of the play, I think that she was murdered. Maybe the husband got tired of her. Like maybe he was having an affair. Like what was the reason? Because you said it, Sally, like she's just sitting at home. She's in a bed. She's not a nuisance to anyone. I think there are some extramarital affairs going on here. But that's just my personal, my little personal take on it. So.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with Sarah here. That was my theory as well. I think there was one line, I forget who was being talked to, but he adores me, waits on me hand and foot. He scarcely left my side. Stevenson finds that like, oh, how nice. But if you think about it, would you really want to spend all that time like just with her? And like the character is also not like, you can see as the show goes on, not the most pleasant person to deal with. So I definitely think that the husband kind of just got bored. That is definitely my theory. Question from Lydia. Question from Mev. How much apple pie did you have to eat during rehearsal? And rate the apple pie on a scale of 1 to 10.
Okay, so we filmed this in one day, surprisingly. And so it was like rehearsal started at 2:30, so I didn't have like an apple pie prop. So I went to the store like 2 blocks away from my house. I got an apple pie in like 10 minutes, and I came home. And the first time I went over the play, it wasn't actually recorded, but I didn't realize that it wasn't recorded. So I ate 2 slices of apple pie then. And then when we were recording it, I also ate two more slices. So in total, I ate half of the pie, and it was good.
Well, we appreciate the hard work, such as pie eating, as well as everything else, but especially the pie eating that went into the show. What I think will be the last question, unless anyone else wants to put in a last-minute one. Question from Sohani. What was your inspiration for making the poster? So Samantha, if you want to take that one.
Okay, so the poster, basically the whole gist of the play was that the woman was frantic and she was on the phone all of the time. So I made like the hair look really crazy because nobody's listening to her, as Miss Massey was explaining to me. Also, when the point of which the photo is like supposed to be drawn at is when she sees the person. So like her hands are kind of like raised to her face, trying to like protect her face, I guess. And then I made the phone white because her eyes are naturally look to what's the brightest point in a picture. So that's why it's the brightest point. So yeah, and her mouth is also open in the screen. So yeah.
Yes, Ellie.
I just want to say, because I saw like a question like a long time ago. I think it was from Gabe. It said like, what was my favorite moment? And one of my favorite moments, like to act out, was when the phone was ringing over and over again, but like nobody was like getting called through. And I was like, the phone keeps ringing and ringing and ringing. I like that part because I don't know. It just seems really funny. It's like funny to say. I don't know. I like that part the most.
Yeah, I said in the chat as we were watching, but that part gets me every time, every single time. We have gone through this show many times. We've watched the show many times. I laugh every time I hear that. From Jonathan, the handover of food and fork was very cool. Yes, that is actually a lot harder than it may look. There's a lot of a lot of work goes into any handover as well as the final bit. All right, I think, unless anyone on here in the cast or crew has anything else that they'd like to add, I think. Well, does anyone else have anything like that? Does anyone else have anything that they would like to add? Yeah, Alexa, go for it.
I would like to compliment everyone's acting, and I thought the funniest part was when Sally was like, check it, that's all you people do. I thought that was so funny. It gets me every time.
I just like to say that I already said this before, but I'm so grateful to be part of this cast because since I'm a freshman, this is my first production, and even though it's virtual, I'm so glad I got to meet Miss Massey and Cliff, and the crew, the cast, everyone. I got to make new friends, so I'm very grateful for this experience, and I hope I can do something like this again, which I will. So you guys better like stay tuned because I'm in the next one. Okay, so if you guys want to see me, I'm in like the next production.
Yeah, we're not going to say too much about the next production. Can't give too many secrets away. But yeah, well, actually, Sarah, do you want to go?
Yeah, so just building off of what Taryn said, I just want to say that I'm so grateful for being part of this too, because I'm a sophomore and I wanted to be part of the musical last year, but I didn't get the chance. So this is like an amazing opportunity for me to be part of something while still being virtual. And I think for all of us, or for me at least, it was a nice break from school and it was really enjoyable for me. And I'm so happy to have met all of you guys. I feel like the cast is all like, we're all great people and I had a really fun time doing this with you. I look forward to being in the next two plays. And special thanks to Cliff and Alexa and Matthew, because you guys were just like so kind and polite through everything with tech and everything. Just amazing. Everyone, Miss Massey, thank you so much, everyone.
Oh.
I agree with what Sarah said. And I also want to say thank you everyone for coming. And I'm glad you guys all came.
Yeah, I also wanted to thank Miss Massey for the opportunity to make another poster. It's really fun to do all of these, so thank you.
All right. Last call. All right. I think that is going to be it for this evening. Thank you all so much for coming. Definitely subscribe to this channel. So that you can keep your eye out for the next shows, who knows? And keep an eye out for announcements about future theater happenings in the building. Thank you all for coming. Have a great night and have a great weekend.